up? Jen Johnson here. Welcome. Today we're talking about be in love with the shape of you. Oh yeah, that song always comes to mind when I think about this. And this is a video I've been wanting to do for a while. The shape of you. Yes, this is an acronym. You know, if you're someone that's just trying to fight your way through figuring out like, what on earth am I here for? Like, what is my purpose? What is my mission? Where am I headed? You know, this is actually a message. I've dove into some different series, like Bible studies, and there's actually a book all about this concept of knowing your shape, knowing, I'm going to go through each of these different letters with you, what they stand for, to help you just better figure out the direction that you should be taking in your life. You know, a lot of what I'm teaching inside of business and inside of my Turn Purpose to Profit community, if you're not a part of that, definitely you can click above to join that, is really designing a business based off of your actual talents, your actual skill sets, and not being so dependent upon what everybody else is doing and what everybody else is good at, because we are all shaped uniquely. We all have our own shape. We all have certain traits and things that we represent that we should be using. Okay, they weren't given to us for nothing. And so I really want to hit home with you on this. So let's just dive right in. So when we talk about shape, you know, we're going to do a little acronym. The S stands for your spiritual gifts. Okay, these are gifts that are given to you. They're not things that you can request. They're not things that you can wish for. You don't earn them. There's not something that you deserve. They're just something that are given to you. You know, me as a believer, if you're a believer, when you come into the family of God, you're actually given spiritual gifts, and they're passed on to you just through that process of walking that walk. And so I'm going to drop a little Bible verse, because this is something we do inside the Turn Purpose to Profit community. We learn to build business God's way, not our way, because it is always a better way when we do that. Can I get an amen? The Bible verse comes from 1 Corinthians 12, 4-6. There are different kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are different kinds of service, but the same Lord. There are different kinds of work, but the same God works all of them in all men. Okay, so really understanding your spiritual gifts. What does that mean? This isn't your abilities. This isn't, your talents or anything like that. This is, what is something that you're just gifted at doing? Is it something like, are you good at encouraging people? Are you a good leader? Are you good at service, at giving? Are you good at teaching? You know, that's something that I really figured out for myself, that I'm good at teaching things, and I never saw myself as a teacher before, but that's something that was a spiritual gift passed on to me when I decided to get back into this industry after over a decade of struggle, and it became a gift of mine to teach people things. Are you good at counseling? Are you good at helping people heal? Are you, there's all these different types of traits that are passed on to you in this process, and you want to think like, where am I really good at really helping other people? So that's the thing about a spiritual gift. It's not for you to benefit you. It's the thing that you do that helps other people. Right? What are those spiritual gifts that you have that you can use to bless other people? Now, here's the thing. When you don't use your spiritual gifts, you cheat yourself, because you're not using them, but you also cheat other people that you could be blessing in the process. So this is something that you really want to sit down and figure out for yourself. The second thing is the H. The H stands for your heart and your passion. Like, what sets your soul on fire? What lights you up? Okay? Understanding what you're meant to do in this life, because you only have one and you want to live it to your fullest potential, you need to understand, like, what is the thing that you're most passionate about? Because here's the reality. God doesn't give you impressions and things that light you up that you wouldn't be good at, okay? Like, he's going to put certain things on your heart that you want to do. For example, like, I have such a passion for music and for singing. I am a singer. Like, that's something that was given to me, and I don't think he would have given me the voice that I have, but then me feel like, I don't want to use that. That's lame. Like, that's not going to happen, right? So you got to think about, like, what are the things that you're really passionate about? When I first came into the industry with network marketing, I really developed a serious passion for just marketing, like learning online marketing and teaching people how to market, becoming a practitioner for that. And so really think about, what is that for you? What are some things that light you up, that excite you? Because that's the direction you want to go in, not the direction everybody else is going in. Because you have to remember, we all have different things. If we all had the same gifts, life would be boring. We wouldn't need to rely on each other for anything. So you need to start recognizing your talent, your gifts, and start using those so that you can bless other people and you can start to flourish in your own way. Okay. So what sets your soul on fire? So it's spiritual gifts, heart. The third thing, the A, is your abilities. So what comes natural to you? I want you to drop in the comments, what are some things that come natural to you? Abilities and they can be silly things like, I don't know how to roll my tongue or make a taco tongue. I can't wiggle my ears. Like, I don't have those kind of abilities. But what are some things that come natural to you? Something that came very natural to me when I was little was roller skating. I grew up on the rink and now I'm teaching my daughter how to ice skate. Something that came natural to me before getting back into this industry, I started going to court reporting school, and that was just, to really work a steno machine, it's kind of like, it came natural to me. For some people, they really have to work hard at that. For me in school, I was not really much on book smarts. Like, I had a lot of common sense, but I really didn't like school that much. Where with my sister, she could never study and pass a test. Like, it just came natural to her. So what are some things that are some natural abilities for you that you could be using to bless other people? Right now for me, something that comes natural to me is email marketing. I'm writing to I write to my list. If you're on my list, you see I write emails all the time. And I'm actually teaching other people how to do that inside of a 7-day list building experience. Think of the things that just come natural to you that you are not using, that you're missing out on, that you could be monetizing, that you could be passing those abilities on and using that as a service to help other people. So the fourth thing, which is the P, is your personality. How are you wired? Okay. And this was a huge one for me, because I'll tell you, like, I love hanging out with people and going out and having a good time, but it's not a requirement for me to feel energized. I'm kind of a homebody. I'm what you call an outgoing introvert, okay? I don't need to feed off of other people, where like I have friends that are like, I need to go do something and hang out with people else I'm gonna go crazy. Like, I'm not that person. So certain things that we're told to do in this industry, I don't resonate with as much. Like, I believe we need to learn how to do them, but they're not the way that my business model is gonna work for me, because my personality does not work that way. And I really let go of a lot of the concept of, being up in people's inboxes all day, every day. When I read Magnetic Sponsoring by Mike Dillard, I really kind of got some validation on that, because he had kind of said the same thing, that, look, telling someone to prospect all day, every day when they're an introvert and they really don't want to talk to people all day long, it's going to be a really big challenge. But does that mean they can't build a business? No, it just means they have to find another model. And so that really, really resonated with me. And from that point on, I really sought out, okay, what is the way that's going to work for me? What is the way that I can help other people that are like me, that have that kind of personality? Because you want to build a business that you will be consistent with, and you will do the activities that you are needing to do over and over, so you see results. If it's not in your makeup to do something a certain way, like, it's going to be really hard to force yourself into doing that all the time, right? So I really the Turn Purpose to Profit community is really all about helping people develop a business that they'll fall in love with, and really start looking at what does your dream business model look like for you? Because here's something I've realized is that how you build your business is pretty much how you're gonna run it, unless you do something drastic later to change it. But by that time, it's gonna take so much legwork if you weren't really starting that process in the beginning, that it's going to be a harder transition. So that's why I always love to teach people a short game and a long game for building their business, because eventually the short game gets really tiring, okay? I did short game for years and it got very tiring, and now I really focus more on my long game because I want true time freedom. I want to show people real time freedom in their business so that they don't have to be running themselves into the ground. They can be present when they're with their family. They can actually go out and enjoy life and live it, and not be thinking, oh my gosh, I have all these things on my to-do list, because that gets super exhausting, right? So really thinking about what's your personality, and are the activities that you're forcing yourself to do they line up? Because if they don't, let's find a different way for you. E, the last letter is experiences. Okay, what experiences have you had? What experience do you have? Any experiences you've had, good or bad, they shape you, okay? The people that you hang out with, the classes that you took in school, all those things, any experiences you've had, they all shape you. They're a part of you now. I was talking to someone earlier today that had something in their life happen, and it was kind of a sad thing that happened, but it actually led her to now what her mission is, because she realizes there's a lack in their community, and there's no outreach for this situation. And I just told her, I'm like, gosh, it's so crazy how sometimes life's bad situations turn out to be such a blessing, because it leads you to your next chapter of what you're meant to be doing. Sometimes God uses life's crappy situations, life's poopy cards that we were dealt, to make a shift, to move us into a different place, to protect us from something bad that could have been happening, or to just give us a swift kick in the pants to say, hey, look, it's sink or swim, it's fight or flight, it's time to get going, and this is the direction that you need to be going in now, right? And here's the thing about humans, okay? When you think of architecture, and when someone wants to build something, it's basically tell me what you want to use it for, and I'll form it that way for you. But humans don't work that way. In architecture, form follows function, but with humans, it's the complete opposite. Function follows form. You need to figure out how you're formed and use that, okay? You need to figure out, someone created you, and now you need to figure out how all of this works, how your brain, how your mind, how your personality, how do all these parts work together, and how do I use them for the good of why I was designed, why I personally was created, because nobody else out there is like you. And let me tell you something, the original is always more valuable than a copy. So don't be trying to copy other people. Don't be trying to do what everybody else is doing. You be you, boo-boo. You go be original, be your unique self, so that way you can go out there and do the things that you specifically were designed to do. Because if you're not doing that, you're cheating yourself, and you're cheating those that you could be blessing in the process. Can I get an amen? So if you're constantly comparing, constantly complaining about things you don't like about yourself, and if you're constantly competing with other people, you are going to be leading a frustrated life. I'm just telling you right now, you're going to be frustrated all the time, because you're never living up to your own expectation, and you're making yourself feel bad. So you need to stop doing that, okay? Accept how you've been shaped. You have the things that you've been given that a lot of other people may not have. And it's your job to go out there and work with people that, I work with people all the time that can help me with things that I'm not good at. And then I work with people that I can help them. That's how this all works. Can you imagine if we didn't have any doctors because they didn't want to use those abilities? We would all be in a world of trouble without the emergency room, or without surgeons, but that's a gift. That's something that's an ability they have. It's something that they harnessed, and they actually went, they worked towards to get really good at at that skill set. But can you imagine if nobody ever took that route because they were too busy trying to be someone else? We would be in a world of hurt. That's what you're doing, though. I want you to see the power of this. When you're not harnessing your own abilities and your own God-given spiritual gifts, then you are, everybody's missing out. When you know what you're made to do it, because what's going to happen is it's going to reduce stress, it's going to increase satisfaction, it's going to raise your self-esteem, and it's going to increase your odds of success. So you need to take some time to figure this out. Figure out the things that you are meant to be doing, because you are shaped to make a difference. There's actually an amazing book, and I don't remember the author's name. It's called Shaped, and it's actually on this whole concept. So if you wanted to dive deeper into this to really help you with that, you could pick up that book. Also, one of my favorite pastors of all time, Rick Warren, he actually did a whole series on this called Shaped to Make a Difference. He has an amazing podcast called The Daily Hope, where you could actually, if you just Google Shaped to Make a Difference, it'll pop up and you can listen to the entire series. It was phenomenal. These were just some notes that I took from it, some takeaways. And then lastly, if you like learning this kind of stuff, I dive very deep into building business on faith inside of my Turn Purpose to Profit community. So you can click above. I actually tagged it there. And you can head over there and just be sure to answer the questions so I know you want to be there and no one is just adding you because they feel like it. And then I'll see you on the inside over there. So I hope this was valuable for you guys. Have an awesome rest of your week, and I'll be talking to you soon.